Hi, this is Reverend Heather from First Christian Church in Jefferson City, Missouri. Welcome to the first week in our Bible in a Year Together reading plan. So this week, even though we have just started, we have already traveled a pretty long way in Scripture. We have heard God speak light into darkness and order into chaos. We've watched that order unravel through fear and disobedience and violence. We have seen the floodwaters rise and recede. And by the end of this week, we are going to see God make a covenant, a promise of life and blessing, not just with one family, but with all of creation. And alongside these ancient stories, we have also been walking with Jesus in Mark's story about the beginning of his ministry, teaching with authority, calling disciples, healing bodies, and restoring people who had been pushed to the margins. I think one thing that stands out this week to me is how often God brings life just by speaking, just by showing up. In Genesis, God creates everything by speaking. In the Psalms, we've read about how creation itself responds to God in praise. In Mark, it is Jesus who speaks, and when he does, the chaos gets quiet, and bodies are healed, and new possibilities open up. Again and again, we see that God does not wait for the world to be a tidy, perfect place before God shows up and jumps right in. God meets disorder with presence. So as you read this week, here is a question that I would like for you to sit with. And you don't have to rush to answer it. Just think about it as you read. Where do you long for God to speak into your life, to show up in your life? Where do you need peace and order? Where do you need to see some new life growing right now? There's no need to force a response. Just as you're reading, notice what rises in you as you consider that question. And if you are feeling like you're already behind, or if you're distracted or overwhelmed, you're not late. You're not failing. The scriptures are patient, and God is patient. God is already here in the midst of us together. So, grace and peace as you keep reading wherever you are. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope to see you next week. God bless.